Hello, fellow wholehearted high achievers. Welcome to Hanging with Hang. Today, I am going to share with you how you can add more fun to self-discipline. I get it; those two things don't usually go together traditionally, right? Because me being an elite athlete when I was younger, I had a quite enough dose of self-discipline, but then I didn't really have much fun along with it. And so then, I paid a price later on. So in that journey, I get to discover these points and apply into my own life now, because I truly believe that when you approach self-discipline properly, it gives you the ultimate freedom, and you get to enjoy the process. So you don't have to hate it and then have the freedom, and then constantly chasing for that. So how I am going to share on this video, I'm going to share with you some of the example that I do, and then you can take the principle and the context behind what I do and then apply to you, and ultimately it gives you a little more joy doing the self-discipline, the thing that you've been wanting to do but you haven't successfully execute, and then ultimately give you freedom. Who doesn't want more freedom, right? So I'm going to give you three examples. One example, one discipline thing that I want to do is to start jogging more. And I don't know if you know this, I hated jogging. I hated running because it was freaking hard on my body. I had 5-foot surgery for 2 years. I don't know, it's just not fun for me. It wasn't fun for the longest time. But I know jogging is good for me because of where I'm at and what I'm trying to do with my life and my work. So the way that I approach, in order to have fun with that discipline, is I change the way that I come from. So instead of come from the high achiever running, like after trying to do the smile and these pace and all that kind of stuff, I come from a spiritual place. I call it spiritual jog because I want to use that time to connect to myself, which is so significant for me, to connect to the element around me, and to be curious about the healing, to be curious about a part of me that I don't know. So then it makes it more exciting for me. So then I'm like a little kid when I come to jogging because I'm looking forward to all these things to discover. But that wouldn't happen if I didn't change in my mind the way I would come from and the way I approach the run. So I don't force it. I actually only jog when I feel I want to. And by doing that, I'm actually jogging more, and I actually perform better than when I was before. So that's an example number one. You change the way you come from. Example number two is one of the habits that I was deliberately want to start after my car accident, I think 2 years ago, is to have a very regimented self-care, because at that time I have to do it to recover. And that's require an hour or 2 hours a night after a long day to reset the body, so the next day my body can be renewing again. So that's involved fascia rolling, inversion table, chirp wheel rolling, stretching, processing, biofuel, whatever that you can think of, right? And sometimes it can feel so redundant, so exhausting because it's another thing on the plate. So I get it if that's how you feel. So the way I do it is, so I add a fun thing on that. So I pick a cheesy TV shows that it's brainless. I don't have to think too much, and it's fun, and I'm looking forward to watch the TV shows. But then normally I wouldn't make the time to watch like 3 hour TV shows because of productivity. And sometimes I do that just for the sake of decompression. But for this purpose, by watching a TV show that I don't have to think too much and do these disciplined things, it makes the disciplined things fun because I'm looking forward to something. So the whole idea is you got to find that fun thing to add on what you're doing so you can look forward to it. So you have to find your own version of Grey Anatomy. That's the show that I choose to. It was recommended by a very dear friend. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it's 16 seasons. But guys, the good news is I'm on season 10, so you can see how religious I have been with my fascia rolling and all the nightly routine. And because of that, my body doesn't go through pain anymore. I'm able to successfully have that discipline, so then my body experience that new sense of freedom of no pain. So self-discipline equal to freedom ultimately, but then what we want is we want to enjoy the process. So that's the second example. The third example I can give you is in the morning, my holistic practitioner recommend that I drink caffeine by a certain time of the morning. And I don't drink coffee, and I'm not crazy about coffee, and I don't care if I start a habit of coffee, because I'm like, coffee is not really that great for you. Why would I want to start a habit? But because I'm specifically working on my adrenals, so then drink a certain amount. So I'm like, how can I make this more joyful? So I add a tablespoon of raw cacao, which is really healthy antioxidants, as you may know. And I find a vegan Laird cream. I don't get commissioned by promoting them. I should be an ambassador on it, which turned out to be one of the best tasting thing for me. And because of that, I get to do the discipline thing that I need to do for my body, and I get to enjoy it. So it's almost to the point that I kind of addicted to that drink. So my friend, you have to find your own version of that Laird cream to your bitter coffee. You have to find a version of your great anatomy to the painful fascia rolling, and find the place you come from to the painful jog. And by doing that, I believe that you can have more fun in the self-discipline, enjoy the process, so then you can get to experience the freedom that you've been yearning for. So with that, I hope we're going to shed some light for you, give you some idea of what you're trying to do. If you have any thought, question, feel free to put in a comment, and I'll try my best to respond to you, because I'm doing it for myself, and I'm trying to see if I can help you, support you with this. Thank you so much for being here. As always, big hug. You've got love from Hawaii to you. And if you find this video helpful, please feel free to share to as many hearts as possible. All right. Aloha.